Welcome to TerryWilson3.com, home of TW3. Are you ready to take your money, business, and life to the next level? You are worth more, and you're about to hear how and why. So buckle up and listen up as we journey to the next level. Please welcome your guys to reach your goals, the TW3 family.
5 ways to improve your persistence. You know, if there is any attribute that we all could improve on, it's persistence. So many times we work on various skill sets, we work on different characteristics that we want to develop. All are good, but I would say the number one thing you could improve on and continue to improve on, and every time you make an investment in your persistence, you are making an investment in every other part of your life. Calvin Coolidge says, nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than an unsuccessful man with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. But persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Napoleon Hill says patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. Albert Hubbard said, a little more persistence, a little more effort, and what seemed hopeless, failure may turn to glorious success. Benjamin Franklin was famous for saying, energy and persistence conquers all. Persistence is so important, and you probably have heard people say, you just got to persist, you just got to persist. But today I want to give you 5 applicable ways, tangible action steps that you can do right now to help develop more persistence. Because at the end of the day, what is persistence? Nothing more than a mindset. And I'm telling you, as your mindset is developed, so is every other part of your life. You want to enjoy more, experience more, have more, do more, then you've got to develop the way you think. You know, in episode 520, Reagan and I was talking, and we shared the interview that we had with Chris, one of our members. And his story is like my story, which is like your story and like so many other people's story, which is life comes at us sometimes. Life hits us in the face. Life throws us a curveball. Life is unfair. However, what I love about his story and what I love about so many other members' stories that I get to hear from and develop relationships with is how they might have gotten punched by life, but they literally embody that passage where it says a good man falls 7 times, but he gets back up. You know, and there's just something sweet about the overcomer. There's just something attractive about those who've been touched by pain, but have been able to take that pain and turn it in to the greatest profit that they could ever have in life. As I get older, I start to think back on those times which were painful, which were disappointing, which were hurtful. And the more and more I reflect on those times, and the more I think about those times, and the more I see what's been developed in me, I have to say, as much as I regret some of it, as much as I would never want to repeat it, I'm thankful for every moment. And so today, as we get through this list, I actually want to revisit an old episode that I had back 5 years ago. It was in episode 263 where I was calling a new elite member who had just been with us for 2 weeks, just got her elite system set up, her marketing system set up with us. It took her a week to go through the training and learn the system and set the system up. And then in week 2, she launched her business and started her activity. And in that second week, she had literally sold $2,500 in the first week. The second week, she went on to sell $5,000. And then in the third week, she sold another $2,500, which net, when it was all said and done, her first few weeks in the business was well over $10,000. And you say, well, great, Terry, that's just one more success story. That's just one more, feather in the cap of TW3. And I get why you would think that, but here's why I want you to hear this story. It's not so much to brag on TW3 or anything else. It's more to just highlight the attribute, the mindset of persistence. Because you're going to hear in her story, she and her child was literally homeless, living under a bridge, going into a coffee shop, going online, and trying to find what could she do to rectify and to deliver herself and her child from the situation they found themselves in, which they did not choose. Life had punched them, and that's where they ended up. So you're going to hear, after we go through this list, a story of persistence. And that is why I do what I do. This story is why TW3 exists. It's not only the life raft for me, it's not only been the thing, the tool, the techniques, the training that got me out of a bad situation over 14 years ago, but it's helped so many other people. And I thought, how apropos, how timely to have Chris's story played last week, where he literally had $750 of credit on a credit card and $250 in his checking account. And he spent the last $250 he had in cash and $750 he did not have on a credit card to invest in a home-based business right after losing a wife, losing a job, losing all kinds of things that he needed to feed him and his child, to literally within 3 months, he said he made over $25,000, and then went on that year through our tools and techniques, making over $200,000. And now, fast forward to 2022, is hosting conferences as a TW3 elite trainer. That is why I love what I do. I love the systems. I love the software. I love the strategies. I love entrepreneurialism, but more than anything, I love hearing these stories. And these stories are from people and are happening through people that have one attribute: persistence. So how do you develop persistence? Number one, dream big, but start small. Dream big, but start small. One of the worst things you could do is have such a low expectation, low goal, and small target that you're shooting for and hit it. Go for the stars. Go for, listen, what do you want to make? Whatever pops in your head, then double it, triple it, because you honestly can do more than you ever thought, dreamed, or imagined. You can. Allow yourself to dream big. Allow yourself to expect the most out of life. Allow yourself to go as far as your imagination will allow, and you can. The reason we don't dream big is because we're trying to mitigate the disappointment we feel like we're just inevitably going to have, because life has conditioned us to thinking nothing good ever happens. And if it does happen, it's so temporary. It's easy to be negative. It's easy to expect nothing. But I'm telling you, dream big. But start small. See, if I dream big and I want to make $500,000 a year, for instance, then what is that? What is that at the end of the day? It's $40 some odd $1,000 a month. Well, what is that? It's $10,000 a week. Well, what is that? It's $2,000 a day. Well, what is that? One package and a half, 1.5 sales. If I break it down into small bite-sized quantities, then it's much more achievable, because now I know if I'm making just 1.5 sales a day, what does that mean? I got to have 50 qualified clients. What does that mean? I got to have 200 or 300 leads I'm pumping through a day. It's just numbers. It's just knowing my numbers, doing the activity, and doing what I'm supposed to do. Dream big, but start small. Number 2, know the reason behind your goals. Simon Sinek says you got to have a why. And it's so true. You know, sometimes things just don't go right. Sometimes things just blow up in your face. Sometimes people treat you poorly. They say things that are not true. There's all kinds of things in life that can hurt you and I. Sometimes disappointment happens because a deal was supposed to go through and it didn't. Sometimes people betray you. Sometimes people lie to you. Sometimes there's all kinds of things that can happen and go wrong. But if you know why you are doing what you're doing, if you know why you're pursuing this goal, if I know why I want to lose weight, I will lose weight. If I know why I want to earn this level of income, I will earn it. If I know why I want to do any particular thing in my life, and my why is big enough, then nothing is going to stop me. It might slow me down. It might deter me. It might distract me for a season. But ultimately, if I persist, it will not stop me. So know your why. Number 3, rest, but don't quit. I'm a big believer in taking conscious breaks. It's important that we allow ourselves to rest in between our attempts in conquering the world. As they say, we can't give what we don't have. So, how can we persist towards our goals when we're already running low inside? One of the most important lessons I've learned about persistence is that taking a break doesn't mean we're quitting. It doesn't mean that we're losing time or we're being lazy. For me, rest is an integral part of the process, not a detriment to it. So, if you're currently struggling with pursuing your goal or completing a task, perhaps it's your inner self telling you that it's time to recharge before you make another move. One of the things I had to really get my head wrapped around when we started this new eating program that Gina and I are on is this idea that once a week, one meal a week, we're going to have a quote unquote cheat meal. Which is to say, we're going to eat things that are a little higher in carbohydrates and more sugars and fattier than what we normally do. And I resisted this for a long time because it just didn't seem right. And to be honest with you, my personality type's one of these that's sort of all or nothing. You know, it's very difficult for me to one day do this, the next day do this. I'm one of these, I'm a creature of habit. And it's difficult, but then when I understood the science behind doing that, then when I understood the whole thing about carb cycling, when I understood that it's actually part of the process and will actually help me and makes the times where I am eating leaner in smaller quantities and intermittent fasting and all the things I was doing, it will make those times more effective if I do this thing that I felt like, I was feeling guilty about it. Well, once I was able to contextualize it and understand it's part of the process, well, it became much easier to do. So when you have to take a respite, when you do have to take a time off from something, when you have to go back and sharpen your axe, don't begrudge that time away from chopping, but understand that time there at the stone sharpening that axe is actually going to make you way more effective when you get back to chopping. Number 4, find different solutions to your setbacks. Sometimes we get too stubborn or rigid when it comes to sticking to our goals, but it can be more beneficial to keep an open perspective and find a different route to our destination. We have to determine when something is no longer working. It doesn't mean that we have made the wrong decision. It only means that there must be another way. We have to be creative in this part of the process. Maybe the right tools are not available to us, so we have to craft them ourselves. Or perhaps we don't have to follow the traditional course, so we can forge our own path. Doing the same things over and over again without seeing results can also hinder our persistence. If we find fresh solutions, then it can also help ignite a newfound energy that will keep us going. So, find different solutions when you face setbacks. Fifth, and finally, on how you can develop greater persistence is don't be afraid to start again. Starting again doesn't mean that you have failed. While it may take you longer to get to where you want to be, it's also an opportunity to identify your mistakes and perhaps go through the process much smoother the second time around. Also, keep in mind that we all have our own time to shine. Maybe this year isn't your year, but what if next year or the following? You don't have to quit altogether right now. Perhaps you have to wait it out and start fresh with more equipped versions of you. So, don't quit and don't worry about if you have to start over. I know in business, there have been many times I have found myself saying, hey, I just got to start all over because this just isn't working. But if you will practice those 5 things, I truly believe it will help you develop a greater sense of persistency in your personal and professional life. So number 1, dream big, but start small. Number 2, know the reason why that's behind your goal. Number 3, rest, but don't quit. Number 4, find different solutions to your setbacks. And number 5, don't be afraid to start again. If you do those 5 things, I truly believe you will have a greater sense of persistency. And with greater persistency, you are going to find greater success. Now, I would like to play this interview for you that happened back in 2017. And it really, to be honest with you, wasn't going to be an interview. It was me on a phone that was going through our call center, and all of our conversations through our call center is recorded. And so at the end of it, I asked the member here, I said, do you mind if I play this recording? Because I think it would inspire so many other people. And she was very gracious. She made tons of money with us in a very short amount of time. She took that money, moved off to Florida, and now is living on the beach doing things in a different career path. But we served her for the time that needed to be serving her. This wasn't a permanent situation for her. She just needed something that she could do that was in her wheelhouse, but it really wasn't coaching, and technology wasn't her passion, but it was a means to an end. And we were humbled that we were able to help her and see her through a transition in her life. And as much as she did for TW3 and selling a ton of systems in a short amount of time and helping a lot of people, I believe she would say we helped her just as much because of what TW3 and some of the things she learned that she's applying in her new business is able to do. So without further ado, I apologize here again for the audio quality on this interview, but it wasn't done in a studio. It was done over the telephone. But I do think this is going to inspire you. So let's take a listen.
Well, hello, Terry Wilson. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I just wanted to reach out. I saw that you'd only been with us a couple weeks, and congratulate you on your elite sale.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I was very, very excited. That was great.
Awesome. What kind of background do you have?
Oh, it's kind of all over the place. Most recently and most successfully. Well, I've been an entrepreneur and a single mom for 14 years. And
14 years, single mom, entrepreneur, working from home.
In various forms, yes. I started out. I was raised very clearly to be a housewife and not a career woman. And when my husband left, I had a what the heck now moment. And so I started cleaning houses, and I built that business up and sold it. I moved to Branson, Missouri, and started detailing boats.
Oh, wow.
Built that business up into a personal concierge service and sold that. Moved back to Oklahoma, where I'm from, and then I started managing an investment firm. I overcame some health challenges, dropped 180 pounds, and opened, because of that and that journey, I fell into opening a med spa. I didn't ever mean to do it, which is why it didn't work long term.
Right.
I owned 2 med spas and medical clinic in Tulsa for a while.
Right.
And had a tremendous time. I loved it. I used to joke around and say my job was, because it's very much not my upbringing or my personality, but I used to joke around and say, my job is to get people naked in 15 minutes or less. In the Bible Belt. So
in the Bible Belt. On top of that,
yeah.
I'm telling you, you're a heck of a salesperson.
I got such a kick out of it. I just really enjoyed that, and that was the thing I am as far as career satisfaction. That's the thing I'm the most proud of. I took that from a $600 investment to $20,000 a month. I got to bring home in 8 months.
Wow.
And I was very, very, very proud of that. I decided along in through there that it was going to be a great idea to get remarried. We almost made it as long as the Kardashians. And in the divorce, I ended up losing everything. And my daughter and I went from a 6-figure income to homeless in 7 months. Homeless under a bridge.
Oh, my word. You're kidding.
And that was 4 years ago. I ran away to New Orleans to try to get out of that situation and rebuild. And I've been down here. New Orleans has been a battle. New Orleans has been my testing ground. And we're looking at it's time to go, and we're moving out of here on the 7th, actually.
Yeah.
So I have faced a lot of demons, and I've overcome more than I ever knew I was going to have to here. So I'm sorry, I still can't talk about that without getting really, really, really choked up. So
no, listen, I get it. I've been there. I totally understand. I don't know if you read my book, but one of the chapters I talk about, losing my business back in 07, 08, and going from, a big fish in a small pond to standing in a benevolence food line asking to get some basic canned foods and dry goods just so I could go home and have food for my family. Yeah. And to this day, when I tell that story, I feel it.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
Yeah.
People that have tasted some of that, you don't ever have to give them the rah-rah meeting, the motivational, there's just something inside them that just, they already have a fire burning, because, it can do one of two things. It can make you or break you, of course, but I can already hear that you've decided, this is going to make you, not break you.
Oh, I've had my this far and no further moments a couple of times down
right.
here. New Orleans is a tough town, and I knew that, but I didn't know from personal experience.
How tough. Yeah.
And I wasn't here very long before I realized probably could have picked an easier route, but I felt like the Lord put me here because this is, we live in a neighborhood. We have tranny hookers outside our house every night.
Wow.
We have mushrooms growing out of the wall in our kitchen, and thirdly, we have a roof over our head. But it has been I have clawed and struggled for everything that we have here, and I look at the home that we've created, and coming down here with a backpack for each of us. You know, we actually have a TV now. We have beds, which to sleep in, new beds, which was important. We have, you know, things. We have chairs to sit in, and unless you've been there, you have, you know, when you talk to somebody that hasn't been there, they have no point of reference. You know, there is no comparison.
Right.
So anyway, I have in my journey here gotten very clear on a couple of things. My primary goal as a parent, my daughter's 15 now. I have a very short time left with her, and I'm not walking into an office to spend the last 4 years of my daughter's life with me as a kid, to only see her 2 or 3 hours a day. That's not going to happen.
Right.
It's going to happen. It's going to be my modern American dream is to be online. That's like coined that phrase, and I use it every day when I'm talking to people. It is my modern American dream. I'm going to be online. I'm going to be home. We're moving to Florida. I'm going to put my rear end in the sand with my kid, and I'm going to hang out and watch her have some fun. I can be broke on the beach, or I can be broke in the bayou, and I'd rather be broke on the beach.
Well,
I'd rather not be broke at all, but
you don't have to be. Well, I can tell you, being in our system for just a couple weeks, it looks like, and you've already closed on one big deal, and I don't know what you've got in the pipeline, but I can't imagine you don't already have a few others that's probably going to be hitting in the next few days as well, just knowing the way you probably hustle.
I spoke with a young man today, and he's trying to get approved for pardon me, Terry, trying to get approved for their stuff. I've done a little bit of voiceover work, and I've worked in direct sales before. I've also brokered heavy equipment, so a lot of that is, again, is phone work and establishing those contacts and relationships very quickly over the phone. And so what I like to do is, you know, I like that we have that here. That we have the opportunity to affect people's lives in such a positive way, and give people the chance to live that modern American dream. That is really what it's about. At the core of it, it doesn't really, you know, everybody's reasons are different, but we're all trying to do the same thing. We all want geographical freedom. We all want time freedom. We all want financial freedom. And we just need a vehicle that's not going to lie to us.
Right.
There are so many people out there that are just like me. They just want to work. And that is the dang problem. We just want to work. Please, just give us a platform, be honest with us, show us what we've got, show us how to use the blasted thing, and then let us work.
Right.
That's it. It's not complicated.
Well, you've been with us 2 weeks and already sold a $2,500 package. How did you do it? I
found out. I talked to the guy. To my client. You know, I literally I went over the script, and then we had a follow-up phone call, and he'd watch the webinars, and he'd move through the sales funnel in the appropriate manner. And when he got back in touch with me, you know, I asked him, I said, you know, you're jumping right into the deep end of the pool, and I love it. I'd like to know why. Well, he's got a family, you know, and then, you know, he's got his reasons, and whatever they were, when it was all washed out and everything, we got down to the bare bones of it, he wanted the same thing. He wanted the time freedom. He wanted the geographical freedom. He wanted the ability to...
The ability to get started with no out-of-pocket cost, basically, was that a help to be able to do that through the financing?
It is. It lends a credibility. It lends a credibility to the process,
Gotcha.
and the fact that is a real offer, and it's not made up, is of course incredibly important, because you know, again, people don't want to. We've all been lied to by marketing companies. Right. You know, if you've been in this business for 5 minutes, you've been lied to by a marketing company. I don't care who you are.
Right.
And so I think that the moving forward with integrity is absolutely key.
Sure.
And this was key for me, Terry. It was, you know, I'm not going to get involved with another company where I have to be on the phone and know that I am making stuff up just to make a sale.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's not just about closing the deal. You have to be able to lay down at night and know that when you go to bed that you've you've served someone in an appropriate manner, that you've
Right.
given them an opportunity or shown them a vehicle to achieve their dreams.
Well, you're not going to last long if you're involved in anything that's not legit or not as reported, especially online.
Those aren't sustainable. Yeah, they aren't sustainable, but they are out there.
Oh yeah, they're here to. I mean, I'm amazed. I've had members that got involved with this and that and the other, and they keep coming back. And I had one just last week said, I should have stuck with you last year, because they were gone for about a year. And they says, but I was looking at this. It seemed like, okay, big ticket sale, make $20,000 a sale, and it turned out to be nothing. I mean, you're selling literally a nothing burger with no value. It's just exchanging. It's just exchanging money, and it's the latest fad and everything. He says, I was making money with you when I was with you. I was helping people. I was making money without, necessarily all the time selling something. I was in a business that actually helped people, and I was making money. And then I got, in his words, got a little greedy, thought I could, cut a corner here and get to where I wanted to go quicker. And he says that he lost his shirt because he ended up giving that company, I think, around $25,000.
Oh my goodness.
And it was just a big hoax. And they're out there. And that's the thing, that you and I, because we're online, have to fight against is everybody, 9 out of 10 times when they come to us, if there are truly opportunity seekers, they've probably been exposed to the gimmicks and the games. And getting them to take the time to just, hey, I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm just asking you to, verify, check me out and see. But sometimes that's the biggest initial hurdle online marketers will have is, hey, I'm not everybody else. Look at this.
Right. I agree. And, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Terry.
No,
I just
please.
wanted to throw in there that one other point, and this is kind of the flip side of the coin. We have a platform that is exactly what it is. What it is billed as. But it is a lot of work, and I think that's the other side of the coin. I was visiting with a young lady in Kansas City, and she is also a single mom. She's got 2 kids, and she is struggling and has been since day one. She's living in less than ideal conditions. Her standard of living is very low, and she is in phone sales right now. She makes about $7 an hour. And she works through a call center. And so I was visiting with her and talking with her about this and the opportunity and how excited I was about it. And then at the end of the conversation, or toward the end of the conversation, she said to me, she's like, well, I see this, I see it, but it is just so much work. It sounds like it is just so much work. She's like, I've never blogged before. I've never been, I've looked at blogging or thought about it or I've heard about it, but I don't blog and I don't have time to set that stuff up and blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, your kids are not getting any younger. And, you definitely have time. You've had time to be broke. So, you can sit at home and you can work for yourself and you can train yourself and you can be trained by people that are qualified to teach you, or you can keep working and sitting on the phone doing the same thing at a desk, talking to people that you don't want to talk to, selling something you don't like, and you can keep doing it for $7 an hour, but you're working one way or the other. What are you working for?
Absolutely. You've probably heard it because you've been in the same space as I have. The old adage, every day you get up, you're building a dream. It's just a matter of whose dream are you building, yours or someone else's.
I love that. Yes. That one is, yeah. Oh, yeah. That one speaks to me on so many levels.
Oh, it does me too. That's why it stuck with me. I mean, there's 2 lies that people, to me, sometimes fall susceptible to. Among all of them, the top one is, and I just dealt with this with a guy yesterday. He is an existing business owner, entrepreneur, but he is struggling. I mean, he's not putting food on the table, hasn't drawn a check in 2 months, he says. He's online looking for work. He's just looking for a job right now. So I offer him an hourly job that we are credentialed with to be able to help. But he comes back to me. He wants to become one of our elite members. And so I says, well, the elite members is this and this, and we can get you started, but you'll have to get, if you don't want to pay for it up front, you'll have to get it financed, and we can get it underwritten where it doesn't cost you anything up front. And you've got 6 months, no interest, no payments to pay it off. But that's what it is. And boy, he came back to me. I don't pay to work. I'm not going to pay for a job. And I mean, it's just like, it sort of flipped my lip. I was like, what, dude, what are you talking about? I offered you this over here, but you don't want to do that because you've been out there for yourself long enough. You know, you want to work for yourself, which is fine. But it doesn't matter what you do, whether you go into a 9-to-5 job or you work from home, you're going to pay. It's just, what are you going to pay?
But you know, Terry, I've been that guy. I've been that guy, though. I have been that guy. And you know what? And let me just be a little more open about it. We are on food stamps, and I need them. We're on food stamps because I can't buy groceries a lot of weeks. You know, we live in a daggum tenement slum in New Orleans because because I lost my confidence and therefore my ability to think clearly when I lost my business. It was the thing besides my daughter that I was the proudest of in this whole world. And when that was taken away from me, when I lost that, I took an emotional and mental hit that I never saw coming. And you know, I thought when on the day that I realized I was going to have to close the doors, I thought, okay, I did it once, by golly, I can do it again. And I wasn't being cocky. I just knew I've got the skill set, and I took this thing from nothing and turned it into 6 figures in a year, and that was brick and mortar. That wasn't online.
All right.
And I didn't.
Right.
And let me take that a step further. I did not participate in any online or electronic-based advertising that first year. I did everything on paper, meaning that I took the town that we lived in, and I took every dollar that we had because I was so low tech that I took every dollar that we had, and I went and I printed up thousands upon thousands upon thousands of business cards and flyers. And my little daughter and I, she was 6 and her little curls, and we'd get in the car and we'd park on a block. And I would walk into tanning salons, nail salons, hair salons. I would stop people in Lowe's. I would talk. I didn't care where the heck we were. I was worse than the Mary Kay lady, let me tell you.
There you go.
If you looked remotely like a female, you had a piece of my paper in your hand. I was chasing that dream so hard.
But that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
That's my point, though. That's my point. Is that in and through that, I had taken, you know, I dabble here, I dabble there. You know, I became interested in SEO and affiliate marketing, and then I realized just how big affiliate marketing is, and went, oh heck no. So I stayed where I was. I stayed in my lane. But I've been that guy. You know, I laid out on a program once $10,000, and I thought, okay, by golly, I'm going to do it. And then I realized you actually have to pay to continue to market that thing. And I went, nope, not today. You guys lied to me, and off I went. And, you know, in retrospect, it probably wasn't that big of a deal, but it felt like a betrayal of sorts to me at the time, you know,
Sure.
because they had sold it differently than, you know, by the way, you have to pay to market your business.
Right.
So, and then I've talked to people, and I've said the same thing. You know, if you really want people to market your business, I shouldn't have to sign up or pay for anything to market your company for you.
Right.
And then at the same time, we've all been on calls where we hear about people that get on and do these amazing things on different programs. And, you know, I don't care what you're talking about. You can be successful on several different levels, and a lot of platforms will work for just about anybody. But you have to get in, and you actually have to work. So,
well, and that was my point to him. I mean, with ours, let me just stop right there for just a second. The reason we started that sales affiliate program is so you don't have to buy anything. You do not have to make one purchase. to start marketing our system as a product and sell it, and you make money without any investments. But that he wasn't satisfied with that. He wanted, number one, the commission level of an elite member, and number two, wanted to have all the software and assets. Well, you know,
how do I work?
I want to be like Michael Jordan, but I'm not 6'6" and athletic. I'm 5'11", and you know, I am who I am. I'm not jumping from the foul line and making dunks. I'm not LeBron James. I'm not name your sports, whatever. I am who I am,
right.
And so you deal with the reality of what you. And I told him, I says, why would you expect to have a blog, a dialer, all these training modules? How do you expect to get that for free to be able to turn around and train others? I just don't understand that mindset.
No, and you know what? And this is really the point I was driving toward, Terry, and it just reinforced what you're saying.
Help me.
A couple of weeks ago, when I did go ahead and sign up, I responded to the ad because at the time I thought being on the phone to making $100 a sale, I can do that, and I know I can. I can. You know, period. That's just, I have that skill set. You know, if I'm going to get $100 commission on a product, that's great. Just give me the people to talk to, and I'm good to go. So I initially responded to the ad because of that. When I watched the webinars and understood, you know, those webinars are beautiful and they make the opportunity crystal clear. And when I saw what was in front of us, you know, I looked around and I said, okay, this is actually a much better long-term answer, because honestly, if I'm working on the phones for somebody else and I'm just making a $100 commission and blah, 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 it's still good money, you know, better than being in Walmart. But at the same time, you know, when you're looking at, okay, well, I can make $400 or $1,200 or, you know, whatever it is, then of course I want that opportunity. All right. Well, that week I had just discovered that also in that very same week, this all happened in 1 week. Please keep this in mind. I saw the opportunity. I found out that my credit had been hacked. I have had my identity stolen. So my credit is now, nobody's going to loan me a toothbrush status. Okay?
Oh, wow.
So I couldn't come in where I wanted to, which was the elite level, of course, because that's where, you know, you have the full potential and opportunity. And so, and I was looking at getting the lights turned off that week.
Oh, wow.
So I'm looking at, I got to pay an electric bill. I got to pay a $300 electric bill. I got to find food to eat, and I need a job because, like I said, what I've been doing here and how I've been working here in New Orleans is coming to an end, and we've been looking at moving anyway. So I've got all this stuff going on in my head. You know, I'm trying to figure out, where am I going to relocate? You know, what am I going to do with my daughter? And how are we going to get all this? How are we going to keep body and soul together? We cannot stay in this house. They're closing the house in August. I am up against a hard deadline, and the pressure is on. Here's this opportunity, and I need $500, and where in the world? And I'm not even. Here I am 3 weeks later. I can't even tell you where that $500 came from.
Wow.
I kept the lights on. I found what I needed to find. I came in as a sales rep. I came up with another $300 to start marketing on Craigslist. And here we are now. And I'm in. I mean, I'm in all the way. I don't have any bridges left to burn. I don't have any tunnels. I don't have any escape routes. I don't have jack. I got to move out of this house in 2 weeks. I got to have the money to do it. And this is the vehicle we're going to use to make that happen. So, yeah, you know what? I'm telling you, you hear people tell, and this is the point to this entire situation, Terry, is you hear people say those stories. You hear them tell, and I am finally that person.
Yeah.
I had to get down here so dang low, where I am looking at the lights are going to be turned off. We're about to be homeless again, and I need $500 plus marketing expenses to start a business. You know what? Bring it on. Let's do this.
Right.
And we're doing it.
I mean, yeah, there's no shortcuts. there's no get out of jail free cards. There's no genie in the bottles.
No,
but there are strategies that work. There are strategies.
There are.
And you use the strategy, and you don't try to short circuit the thing. You just work the system, and the system works. If you just do it and be faithful with it like you have. I mean, I just like I said, the whole reason I called and said
that wheel.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason I wanted to call. I said, because, okay, here's someone who's just been with us, like I said, just a couple of weeks and already sold one of our top packages. And I'm seeing the activity. I was like, okay, I want to reach out to this person, get to know them a little bit just to see. And then if they've got a story, maybe put it on the podcast just to inspire other people.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation. That's just one more member that we have been able to help over the last 14 years. And it is a truly, truly the most rewarding part of TW3 is being able to hear stories like that. And I'm telling you, if there was ever a time to take control of your money, business, and life, it is now, especially with what's all going on and these new components that we've added to TW3 with the tools that we have, with the new hourly opportunities that we are offering as well. It is just a great time to be here. If you would like more information on how you could either go full-time or part-time, make up to $40 an hour working from home, plus high commissions on top of all of that, have everything you need from the various tools so you never have to cold call, to techniques to how to use these tools so you can get as many leads as you want, to the training that's going to be there through the thick and thin, mastermind group that we have so you can be around a group. Because let's face it, folks, you become who you behold. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. You want to go further, then hang around people that have gone further. That's what this mastermind's about, and our elite members are afforded that opportunity to be in the room with some of these guys. If you would like more information on that, simply text WFH. That's work from home, WFH. Text that to 864-507-9696. That's 864-507-9696. Text WFH to 864-507-9696, and I'll send out information how you can join us for as little as $0 down and as little as $20, $30 a month based on your credit. And we can get you matched up with companies that are going to pay you hourly. You're going to have our system to where you're going to be able to drive leads when you're not working for those companies, and you're going to be able to make hourly and commission all at the same time on your terms. So it's a great time to do something different. And I'm telling you, the only way you're going to beat this inflation is outpace it. And outpace it with greater income. And that's what we're here to help you, like we've helped so many others in the last 14 years. So till next time, we'll see you later.
Thank you for listening to our show today. If you have any questions or would like to speak with us about your goals, then please call or text us at 864-507-9696. Reach out to us online at terrywilson3.com.